everyone! This is Hachiri. Alrighty, today's episode, I was thinking we're going to go over something that we've been building for a little while over on the streams lately, and I thought we'd kind of go over it today while I'm like swapping cells around. I've been processing getting polyethylene going, but we now have easy polyethylene and a bunch of other cool things going on. So, without further ado, I'm using my miner home point to save this for now. Now, this is new to those watching the episodes. It's not new to those on the streams. This is the first floor of one of the major buildings I'm currently working on. But what's really important is directly behind me. Right here. We got our distillery setup going. And we are out of oil at the moment. I will have to go and refill it. But yeah, we have been busy beavers. This alone, like, I wiped out so many ore nodes building those empty cells. I thought Ryan was going to kill me. So what we're doing with this is we have a completely 100% self-contained oil processing system here. It makes everything. It makes the hydrogen. It deals with the oxygen. It deals with the hydrogen sulfide and makes it into sulfuric acid. We have naphtha. We have refinery. We have diesel. It also cycles the diesel back to power the system. And we're just going to kind of go over everything that's going on here. Starting with this. So this is a HV combustion engine. It's currently running on diesel and pumping directly into a standard medium voltage transformer. Okay? That is then going through a annealed copper cable 4X into the MV energy hatch of the distillery here, as well as a LV high amp transformer. And that's basically taking anything that's not getting used and turning it into 16 amps of LV. And we'll get to that here in a little bit. And then I also have a 1 amp cable going to the mixer here. So we're using redstone alloy cable because this is a lossless LV cable. And it basically runs a strip all the way down for all the machines. Next, we are running Project Red transportation cables throughout this whole system. We have extractors and item responder chips to insert and extract as needed. The item responder for this case pulls empty cells in from the system, puts it into here, fills it full of water. This, of course, sends it across, electrolyzing it and turning it into hydrogen and oxygen, and then sending that back to the system over there. Okay? And how these basically work is you go in and you set the filter accordingly. Now, in this case, we have it blacklisted. It's working without a problem. I've had these have issues on occasion, though, and I've had to set it to whitelist and manually set the cells that it was being extracted, but I found that's only the case when you have both extraction and the item responder chip in the same routed interface pipe. With the routed interface pipe, basically how this works is you go into the filter, you whitelist, you put whatever item needs to go in it, you click and set the priority, and then you just right click the interface in here and it will make sure that those are full of the items. And we have essentially set this up for all of them. Here, as you can see, I have both extractors and item responders. The extractors are whitelisted for the byproducts, which is empty cells and hydrogen sulfide cells. Okay. The responders on this particular one is set for hydrogen cells. So it's going to pull from the system and put hydrogen in here. This is set to extract the cells of, in this case, heavy fuel, and insert empty cells. That's how this is configured. Same thing for this, except it's doing light fuel, this is doing naphtha, and this is doing refinery gas. That's how all of that is configured. Just insert and extracts through the whole system. These are set the same way. They have inserts and extracts where it is relevant. Any excess empty cells get sent back into here. Any excess or hydrogen gets put into here. Same with the oxygen. It'll fill the machines as needed first and then put it in here. This is the overflow. It shoves the fluids that go in it into the trash can and will extract the empty cells. Currently, for this system, the overflow grabs hydrogen sulfide, oxygen, and sulfuric acid. If any of those three are full in these drawers, now hydrogen sulfide I don't have in the drawer, but if any of those three are full, it's going to trash it and then get the cell back. So that is basically the entire system. Both of these sides are being fueled by the single reservoir here. It's more than enough. And all these machines are LV. So this is all powered by that one machine there. Now, what I got going on here is I have the light fuel and the heavy fuel going on in here. And we are using transposers to regulate how much gets put in there. And then the diesel cells are being extracted and put into the system. So that's how that works. Now, I currently have a machine controller connected to this, so I can turn it on and off as needed. However, what we're going to end up doing with this eventually, when I get a moment, is I'm going to grab these, these ones, redstone upgrade. And what we're going to use the redstone upgrades for is we're going to set these redstone upgrades on each of the primary drawers here. Anything that could possibly fill up and spill out and cause issues for us. And the reason being is I want this to shut off and not waste fuel if these things get full. And that's essentially the plan on this. Now, to process the oil, we only needed a tier 5/4, depending on your point of view, distillery. The output bus isn't actually needed for this recipe, it's just needed for the multi-block. The rest of them, they're all tiered, and how you can tell what output is going to be what is actually based on JEI. If I take a look at oil here, and I go to, say, this cell right here, okay? And I right click. And I go to the distillation tower setup. It tells you right here not only where they're going to be, but it also tells you what slot, how high you need it to be, because you always need the 0 slot, which is always items, and then everything else is fluid. So this tells you how high total it needs to be. And some people think that you need to go another layer past your output, but you don't. You can have the roof as the same layer as the output for this multi-block. So that's really pretty much all on how this works. Now, as for what do I do with all of this? Well, the refinery gas you can process in a gas turbine as is. Diesel, of course, runs in any of your combustion generators. But you can also do some other stuff with this as well. And we're going to get into that later. I got to build a handful more machines. We're going to make some more distillation towers as well. Because we're going to get into a thing called cracking. And how cracking works is if I do, say, severely cracked heavy fuel. Because we are going to have overage on heavy fuel, okay? So if I take a look at the cracker, the oil cracker is a large multi-block. One bucket of steam and 1 bucket of heavy fuel equals 1 bucket of severely cracked heavy fuel. Now you can use a chemical reactor to do the same thing, however you'll only get 800 millibuckets or liters of it instead of a full bucket. That's important. It affects your ratios. Okay? Now the oil cracker always runs on HV, so that is something we're going to have to consider. But given the fact that we have so much refinery gas right now, I don't think that's going to be a problem. Now if we take a look at the byproducts, this is the cracked refinery gas. We get ethylene from it, methane, propane, ethane, and helium. And helium is the big one here, okay? That is one of the main gases we're wanting to build up. And while we're looking at this, methane could be used with chlorine to produce chloroform for Teflon. It could also be burned as a fuel. The heavy fuel, when cracked, produces a plethora, and this requires a tier 11 tier, so the maximum size distillation tower here. Okay, but a single bucket of that, I mean, we get benzene, methane, ethylene, ethane, you know, all of the byproducts here. Okay, and one of the cool things that I saw in here was the butane, because if we were to centrifuge the butane, let me go to the cell, because it's going to require the cell. Is it not showing it? Butane is what we're looking for, not butene. I'm looking at the wrong butane. Was it coming from this one? Maybe that is from the butane may be coming from the wood side of things. That may be the wood side of things. I will take a look at that. But we can get LPG from butane. Butane could just be burned. And yeah, we get a plethora of byproducts to work with on this. Toluene's a big one as well for making explosives, and we all know how much I love blowing stuff up. Come on over here, Mr. Slime. That's right. Away from the machines. Thank you. Alright. So, that is what there is to report on that. And just to kind of show it working, we're going to go and refill our oil. I'm currently on an oil platform not too far away. And we'll just get all these filled up. Gotta love filling the super tank. I don't know who is doing what there. But we will get this filled up real quick and then be right back. Alright, we got enough oil to at least get the process starting. So we're just going to slap that down. It's going to go into the system. This is going to turn on. There we go. And let's see, which of these is going to fire sooner? Probably this one. And you guys will see like stuff going nuts as soon as this hits 16. There's going to be like cells going in all directions. Yeah, almost there. We're almost there. And there it all goes, running amok. And that's pretty much it on this. I am going to continue building the base, and let's kind of show that off real quick before we fully end things. It's still a work in progress, but it is making progress. We are slowly but surely getting there. Getting most of the foundation and stuff set up. The complex itself is coming along nicely. I'm going to be removing just a little bit of this across here to make the canal and getting that sorted. I'm probably gonna kind of cut the chunk in half if I'm thinking correctly, but we're gonna get a canal made over here, and there is a little bit of a mess here because somebody went too far, but overall the base is making good progress. We got to move a few things. There's a spawner right here, so we're gonna try to relocate that here soon, and we're gonna be moving gardens here soon, as well as our tree farms. We're going to move the tree farms over there and get all the steam sent to the north, and move our gardens in this area, kind of build a greenhouse bee area down here. So with that, we will wrap things up, and I will talk to all of you guys later. You have a wonderful day. Well, that's all for today. Please subscribe, like, and comment down below and tell me your thoughts. And until next time, have a wonderful day. Goodbye.